consider this my version of redneck sitting in his car ranting about stuff. Wes of Disabledland. Here again. So there's been this video, pretty much inspiration porn, depending on how it's presented, going around for, I guess the first time I saw it was about 3 or 4 months ago. It's of a kid, 10, 11, 12, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've read the spiel on it, because the spiel is typically what makes it inspiration porn. So we'll say 12-year-old kid with, I believe it is cerebral palsy, who is an amateur wrestler and has clearly been doing the amateur wrestling techniques as part of his physiotherapy. And he wrestles another kid, a slightly older kid, at some sort of competition, and everybody claps, and it's beautiful, and it's wonderful, and the kid got to participate, and that's great, and beautiful, and wonderful. And the event got recorded so that it could be shared, which should be beautiful and wonderful. But it's now been shared all over the place, and it's been borrowed, and it's been reshared, and it's been turned into inspo porn. But the video itself isn't really the problem, because the video is actually kind of wonderful. This kid has learned a few skills, goes out, does his thing, he's proud of himself, his family is proud of him, most of the people in the crowd are proud of him for achieving this goal. But every video posting of it has a comment section. And the comments are all, "Oh, what a fine young gentleman. That little boy who let that poor disabled child wrestle him and pin him and make him feel included. That fine young gentleman deserves a medal. That fine young gentleman was clearly raised right. That fine young gentleman was so good to let that poor pathetic waif of a disabled child win that match. Such a fine young gentleman." And of course then there's also the hearts, 50 million hearts and prayer emojis and all that other garbage that doesn't actually mean anything. And then there's the odd troll, which I at least find less offensive in some ways or disingenuous when they say, "Haha, if that was me, I'd still pin the little crippled bastard. Stupid enough thinking he's one of us." You know what? At least you're being honest, you dumb pieces of shit. But at least you're being honest, ignorant pieces of shit. I'm trying not to say dumb anymore. At least you're being honest. First of all, I'm offended that people think the fine young gentleman should get a fucking medal just for doing the right thing and helping a disabled person participate in something that they wanted to do. That's the first thing about this that I find offensive and cringy, and it's pretty what turns it into inspiration porn. But what I find downright gross and disgusting about the comments on this video is the number of people that talk like the disabled kid who is cognitively aware enough to have learned some basic wrestling skills, probably part of his physical therapy, but has learned some skills, has learned the rules of wrestling enough to participate, has learned all these things, and they think and they act and they talk like this kid doesn't know that this is just an exhibition that he is being allowed to participate in. They talk about this disabled child participating in this wrestling match with an able-bodied child who is a little older than him, that fine young gentleman. And he's a good kid, don't get me wrong. Not taking anything away from this kid, other than the fact that he deserves a medal just for including a disabled kid. Where was I? Oh yeah. They think and talk like this disabled kid is some toddler playing a video game where, against his older brother, only the kid's controller isn't plugged in. I used to do this with my nephew all the time. Just hand him a dead controller and let him think he's playing when he was like, 1.5, 2. They think and they talk like that's what's going on with this kid. They talk like this disabled kid doesn't know that it's not really a competition. Doesn't know that he's just in it for the participation. And when he gets that pin, he thinks he actually got it. Because that's how little they actually think of this disabled kid when they watch it. Which is why they take all the praise and they put it on the fine young gentleman that just let him participate. And wasn't that so nice of him to let this poor disabled child win in front of all of these people? He could have been so embarrassed, but he doesn't mind because he was doing the right thing, including this poor disabled child. And see, for me, this kind of inspo porn is the worst of all inspo porn, because it's not even saying that the disabled kid is the inspiration. It's the kid that just let the disabled kid be there is the inspiration. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Well, actually, I know what's wrong with these people. They don't see the disabled as a fully functional human being. They see them as the three-legged cat on the dodo. Oh, he doesn't know he's different. Isn't that special? He has no idea that he didn't actually win that match, and that able-bodied child, if he wasn't such a fine gentleman, could have broken him in half. Isn't that special? Isn't this fine young gentleman so sweet for letting this poor disabled child think he won something, he did something, he accomplished something? That is what's so gross about the comments in this video. And I'm not going to share the video. I'm sure you can find it. I've seen it multiple times on Instagram. I'm sure it's there on YouTube. If you just search up Disabled Kid Wrestles, you'll probably find the exact video I'm ranting about, and you can roll through the comments. And you'll see the nasty comments, and the ableist comments, and the sanctimonious comments. But you'll see almost no non-ableist comments. Because even the ones that are trying to compliment the disabled kid still end up talking down to the disabled kid. Because heaven forbid you talk to the disabled kid as if he's just a kid. A regular, old, fine, young gentleman taking part in an honorable amateur wrestling competition. Because that's what the kid is. He just happens to be disabled. And it just happens to be an exhibition that doesn't count points-wise. Do you think that other kid, that fine young gentleman, has a loss on his record? I haven't researched this, but I bet not. So I'm Wes of Disabledland. I have a Redbubble and Teespring shop where I sell disabled forward t-shirts like this, My Bad Attitude is My Ability, and many, many others. I will link those links down below, but my Redbubble link is up in the bar thingy, as well as my Instagram, Wes of Disabledland. You can follow me there. And, yeah, so if you're able-bodied and you're commenting on videos like this, actually think about what you're saying, and if you would say that to a full-grown, able-bodied adult or not. And if you think, if I said this to them, they would bitch slap me, don't fucking say it. Don't be so goddamn condescending. Stop it, Abel. Stop it. You're better than that. Or at least you want to act like you're better than that. So be better than that. Wes of Disabledland. Bye for now.